first of all, this is not my attempt to cancel Dave Chappelle, to get him in trouble, to get him fired, anything like that. This video is just meant to provide another perspective to these jokes that Dave is telling to hopefully kind of balance out the negative impacts that they can have. Second disclaimer, I have watched the entirety of the Closer specials.
Good for you. At the very least, if you're going to critique it, you should watch it in its entirety. And a lot of people did it before they lost their mind, so good for you.
That being said, I have not, however, watched any other videos or read any articles about it because I wanted to form my own opinions. Wanted to be as unbiased as possible. The last disclaimer before we get started is I think there is a conversation that can be had about comedy as a form of quote-unquote moral immunity, or whatever you want to call it. Basically the idea that you can be as offensive or damaging and problematic as you want, as long as you call it comedy. It was just a joke. Personally, as somebody who has studied media and the effects that it unavoidably has on all of us, I don't really believe in that. I think saying something deconstructive has just as much of an impact, if not more of an impact, when you say it in comedy or in this casual setting as it does in other genres of media. If you also are not familiar with Dave Chappelle, he is a straight man, not gay, not trans, none of the above, which I will say I do think it would make a difference if he was gay or trans, you know what I mean? I feel like gay people can make jokes about gay people, trans people can make jokes about trans people.
Flame Monroe makes comedy about LGBTQ people and she's getting flamed, no pun intended, all the time. So people are gonna get offended no matter what. It has nothing to do with who, whatever, whatnot, okay? If you don't align with what they're saying, people are gonna get mad.
Whenever I hear this stuff where it's like, only black folks can make jokes about black folks, white folks can make jokes about white folks, and women can only make jokes about women, and men can make jokes. Really? Women can't make fun of men? Really? You sure you want to go down that road? Because a lot of women's acts are about to get destroyed. Listen, if we're being honest, we make fun of each other. We make fun of ourselves. If you want to do deprecating humor all the time and make fun of your own community and all this, that's fine. Do you?
But then again, that's bullying.
But this whole thing, like, you can't make fun of other groups. Why? Why not? And also, to what degree do we want to do this? Should poor people only be able to make fun of poor people? Rich people, rich people?
No.
Americans?
Poor people can make fun of rich people because they're punching up. You see on that layer?
If you're on the bottom layer, it's perfectly acceptable for you to punch everyone upwards. If you want to punch against oppression, it's acceptable. But oppression cannot punch against the oppressed. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the whole punch up, punch down stuff. You know what I mean? If you want to go and make fun of children, make fun of children. If children want to make fun of you, make fun of you. I dislike it when people gatekeep who can make jokes about who. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't make fun of them. They're oppressed. Why not? Why not? They're vulnerable people. Kids are vulnerable too. I love watching them fall. It's hilarious. I like laughing at them when they fall too. Yeah. Something about watching the little physics of little people just feet dangling in the air.
If somebody is trans themselves, I feel like it's completely up to them to decide how they want to talk about their struggles or, make art out of their experiences. The same thing goes for race or gender. I think if a black person wants to make jokes about their struggles with, being a black person, I think that's fine. I think if a woman wants to make a joke about being a woman, that's fine. However, I don't think the opposite is true. I don't think it would be okay for a white person to joke about a black person's experience. I don't think it would be okay for a man to joke about a woman's experience. And I also don't think it would be okay for a cisgender person to joke about a trans person's experience.
Notice the direction. Yeah. She didn't say, I don't think it's okay for a black person to make fun of a white person or for a woman to make fun of a man. She only said it one way, which literally aligns with one way of this.
Yeah. That's our direction.
And we don't have to get into the details of the jokes that he used to make. Okay? They were mean. Let's just leave it there. Usually I find infatuations of this size to be a little bit flattering. It's like, cute. You're obsessed with me. I get it. But this is a bit much. It's a bit much. You're doing the most. Aren't you supposed to be one of the greatest comedians? There's a fly. You really have to resort to attacking another minority community to boost your numbers?
Ain't nobody trying to talk about y'all that deeply. You guys just won't shut the up, and you guys are in every news article, always trying to cancel folks. So of course, ain't nobody talking about Native Americans or indigenous folks the same way they're talking about you. No one's talking about the Maui people the same way they're talking about you. The reason why folks talk about y'all is because you guys put yourselves out there all the time and then constantly demanding change from everybody. I could honestly say up until maybe 5-6 years ago, the trans stuff wasn't that common in terms of stand-up comedy.
No.
Then the pronoun stuff happened. The bathroom stuff happened.
We're gonna laugh. Comedians is the news. If you look at comedy that did not age well, it's a reflection of not the comedian, but the era which he lived in. Comedy reflects what's going on a day-to-day basis. Every day. It's a reflection. That's what we do. So we go outside, we go live our best life, we gather information, we throw it on the stage. How many comedians has a bit on COVID? Because that's all we did for the past 18 motherfucking months. Because it's current. Because we talk about it. Not because we just really want to, oh no, they're really about that COVID because they're part of a bigger plan. No, it's everyday shit that we live. So if you talk a lot and you're all in the news and stuff like that, we're going to talk about it. Olympics just passed. UFC is happening. There's a whole lot of y'all in the news. Of course, we're going to be talking about that. Same thing as with the George Floyd thing. People are going to talk about that. Michael Shea just had a special. He talks about the vaccine. Why? Because he's part of the propaganda? No! Because that's all he had to do for the past 18 months. That's it. It's a reflection of the world and where we live. That's it. What did Dave Chappelle talk about in his special as well? He spoke about the baby. The bitch just happened. Because it's current.
If you guys are enjoying today's video, make sure you leave a like and a comment. Help us out with that algorithm. Push the video to everybody. That's how you can do it. Just smash it, okay?
You're really struggling that hard right now? Now, I'll be upfront and say that the special was definitely upsetting to me as a trans person. It hurt my feelings, you know, it got me good. Whether you care if it hurt my feelings is up to you. I really don't care if you care, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you're an asshole. I don't care if you don't care.
Baby.
That was perfect.
Love.
That was perfect.
That's not how things work, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't care if you care, you fucking dickhead, piece of shit, asshole. I don't care.
You got hurt. And I understand that you got hurt. I understand. But then again, that's what it is. In a video, okay, you can't be saying, I'm a trans person. Of course I got hurt. And then minutes before say, I'm going to give an unbiased opinion. No. Okay? No.
That's a good point.
You're biased, which is fine. I get it.
Also, just because you were hurt doesn't mean the joke was mean.
Or that it's not because the joke was not funny that it's not a joke. You just didn't think it was funny, which is fine.
Listen, comedy's always funny until it's directed at you. And then it's oppressive.
Comedy is just like a drunk uncle at Christmas. It's funny until he touches you.
There you go.
Pause.
Regardless of whether or not my feelings were hurt, though, there are a few arcs throughout the special that I feel are potentially dangerous to the progress of the trans community. The Netflix special starts out, and while there are some funny moments, you know, I'll give it to him, there are some funny moments. There are also a lot of moments that are problematic and very clearly indicated where he stood on certain issues such as COVID. Like he says that he didn't even get sick from COVID, which is like, okay, are you trying to, like, what are you trying to say? He complains about the increase of attacks on Asian Americans, then compares Black people beating up Asians to his immune system fighting off the COVID virus.
That was funny.
Playing into the whole myth of COVID being this Asian disease, which is quite literally the reason that hate crimes against Asian Americans has gone up.
That's a funny ass joke. That's funny. But again, if you don't like it, you don't have to like it.
I will say that he also does poke fun at anti-vaxxers and clarifies that he himself is vaccinated, so like, that's good, I guess, right? We'll give him that. We love making fun of anti-vaxxers.
So you see, it's perfectly acceptable. It's perfectly acceptable to make fun of the groups that she doesn't like. But the groups she does like, can't do that. How do you think she's going to react when she finds out that a lot of the anti-vaxxers are minorities, overrepresented? Probably doesn't give a fuck.
But
virtue signaling.
Difference between, you know.
Yeah, let's make fun of that group, though. I mean, I personally don't care. I think everybody should make fun of everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your lines are all over the place, boo-boo.
The bulk of his content source, the alphabet people, or the BTLGs, or the QRF, I don't even know letters anymore. Apple-Jew? What the fuck is an Apple-Jew? But like LGBT. Is it really that hard? Like, just practice it like 3 times, I swear. You can.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. LGBT is a shitty acronym. It is. Like, sometimes you get acronyms and it's like Emma, right? The word acronym sounds great. LGBTQ doesn't sound great. LGBTQ2IA sounds stupid. And you don't believe me? Even the LGBT people hate the acronym.
I know.
Yeah, they constantly complain. Why are we adding so many letters? This shit looks dumb. So I'm saying
LGBTQ plus 2IAA.
Are there some people who appreciate having LGBTQIA plus be a thing that exists? Do they feel like it It helps them be seen or their friends be seen? Anybody here?
So no one
at all?
but y'all? Okay.
Sometimes it just gets to be too many damn letters.
It's a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot.
Like,
We're technically LGBTQIAAP2+.
See, that's too
We are
much.
not.
That's-
It's
Maybe y'all are.
that's
So like I said, there are a few arcs throughout the special that I think have, you know, transphobic roots, we'll say. The first of which, there's three, if you're curious. The first of which is the proclamation that the modern day LGBT movement or the modern day LGBT community is too sensitive and too brittle.
To be fair, though, I feel like most people feel as though most folks have become too brittle and too frail. My experience is that people feel like the world is soft.
Yeah. Black people, white people, Asians, everybody's soft.
And I'm really inclusive. So I feel like since you guys are part of the world, you're soft too. Soft like Charmin.
Cha cha cha.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it's okay. You guys are soft and brittle. And it's okay.
Like the rest of the world.
You know what's interesting about that? Of course the world is going to be soft and brittle. We're not living in hard times.
No. There's no
And
reason.
people are like, you don't know my struggle. Shut up. Okay? You're not being drafted to go to war. You're not coming back with limbs blown off all the time. Calm down. Right? We're at one of the safest points in history ever. Even with COVID, even with crime, it's nothing like it was in the 90s. It's nothing like it was in the 50s. So just chill. So all this to say, when people are like, people are so soft. Yeah, where are they going to get the adversity from? Fucking, you can have Uber Eats deliver you food every single day. Nigga, you're not hunting. You don't have to travel to go anywhere. You're not putting water on your head to go put, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, niggas is soft.
Niggas is soft.
So is the BLT people.
See? Inclusivity.
Rather that he just isn't a fan of these newer gays because, like I said, they're too sensitive and they're too brittle. And he then brings up the whole DaBaby situation to try to show how, you know, sensitive and brittle we are and the damage that we cause to, you know, good people's careers. DaBaby, a good person? Come on.
I think she can't recognize sarcasm and all this other stuff.
No.
It's like, he's not necessarily really going for like, DaBaby's a wonderful human being. What he's trying to say is, you guys would cancel him because he said a slur, but wouldn't cancel him for killing the person at Walmart. Does that sound like a defense?
He didn't say a slur.
What?
DaBaby.
No, but he talked about gay folks in a derogatory way.
Yeah. It was not even a slur.
If you aren't familiar with the whole DaBaby situation, I do have a whole video on it. You're welcome. But to sum it up really quickly for you guys, basically he said that people with HIV are dirty. He praised people for not being gay. It was a whole mess, and then afterwards he actually refused to apologize and doubled down on his homophobia, saying that if gay people want us to accept them for being gay, then they have to accept me for being homophobic. Sir, that's not how that works. Shortly after, a bunch of his shows were canceled because what music festival is going to want a performer that bashes a large portion of their customer base?
You mean like Eminem? Carry on.
You mean like most rappers who say anti-gay stuff? Like, what do you guys think? Do you think your favorite rappers like gay folks? Are you guys not aware that like homophobia is like very, very, very commonplace within the black community, as well as most minority communities?
What do you mean? I am not afraid.
Festivals are hiring people with homophobic views every single day, all the time. I would argue that most guys go interview your favorite rapper. I can assure you, most of them are not down with gay folks.
If he's not Jaden Smith.
Or Tyler the Creator.
I don't know, when do you? Every time I do something like that, I feel like Dora. Like, what do you think? Is DaBaby a dumb bitch? My favorite part of Dave calling us too sensitive, though, was when he said that we were being too sensitive and he misses the Stonewall gays. You know what the Stonewall people did? They started violent riots demanding respect and demanding equal rights. But calling out how what DaBaby did is problematic on Twitter is too far? Okay, Dave. The aims of the majority of the LGBT community is not to cancel everybody that doesn't agree with us or to get everybody that doesn't agree with us fired and ruin everybody's lives. I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there that would like that. Rightfully so. I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that Trevor Noah interview, where you have somebody who's not part of the stand-up or comedy scene or doesn't really get it, trying to dissect every lyric or every joke.
Whoop whoop is the sound of la police.
I just can't imagine somebody sitting across from like Mobb Deep and be like, so.
When you said, I am not afraid to shoot a batty boy, I am not afraid. Tell him, fi stop the war. What did you mean by that?
So when you said that this is for all the billas and the $100 killers, what did you mean? Mob deep.
When you're talking about burn them, were you using an actual lighter?
This is that same thing.
If you step in a Chichiman bar, what do you mean they have to go dead?
Yeah, that's how it goes in. That goes in.
Now I got flashbacks.
Yeah, these people are gonna ruin everything. Nas, was it legal when you said you woke up and you got yourself a gun? Woke up this morning. You got yourself a gun. Got yourself. Yo, I'm living in this time behind enemy lines.
Got yourself a gun.
You know I got mine. I hope you got yourself a gun.
Were you mentioning when you said I got myself a gun? Hope you got yours. Do you advocate for Kyle Rittenhouse to be free?
Oh my God, yeah, these people are gonna ruin everything. I swear to God.
Now, the comments that Dave made, honestly, some of them were supportive of things that would benefit trans people. He talks about the North Carolina bathroom bills and how they were messed up and how they are ridiculous and, should never be a thing. But the way that he goes about it, and I know it's comedy, it's supposed to just be funny. Excuse me for being a little
Cool.
bitch or
I'm done with this. It's not gonna get better. It's not gonna get better. Yeah. It's just it's the same rhetoric again and again. We get it. Okay, we get it. We get it. You don't get second degree. Fine. It's okay. It's fine. You don't like the way things were said and you were hurt. I get that. You're biased because I get that. Okay. You know what I mean? We get it. Yeah. This is fine.
It's kind of disappointing whenever you listen to somebody and you can just tell that they got literally all their views from Twitter. It's the same stuff you hear verbatim from other folks. Don't punch up, punch down, all this other nonsense. Bro, it's the same stuff recycled. Recycled. You know what it reminds me of? It's like when we have this whole conversation about trans sports, trans women, they use the same arguments. She does the same thing. You know what I mean? Oh, I didn't read any news articles and it's boo-boo. If you didn't, they informed all your opinions because nothing you said was an original thought whatsoever. It's the same rehashed thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it was uninteresting. And again, it's the same attacks that you constantly see on comedy. What Trevor Noah was dealing with 6 years ago is exactly... Remember that BBC article? That was the BBC interview with Trevor Noah? That was from 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, that was 5-6 years ago.
Do you feel it's acceptable to make those race jokes? Shut up.
That's Ben Shapiro. That's not the girl.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below.